Morning. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started here. Good morning. Welcome to another session with with the market trader. My name is Ray, the market trader. Just wanted to go through the risk disclosure here. All the content that's being published and distributed by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. We all understand that future trading does carry a substantial amount of risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading. Only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation to offer, buy, sell, recommend, endorse futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, so now that I have the risk disclosure out of the way here, guys, I'm going to go ahead and start with the news and see if there's any news that we should be aware of that could impact the market here. Okay, so let's do that. There we are. Okay. So very light, I would say, in the way of news here today. We have the Fed inflation expectation report coming in at 11 a.m. We obviously have the option expiration, European option expiration that's coming in at 10 a.m. But outside of that is relatively light. As the week progresses, we are starting to get into earnings week. As we move forward in the week, we'll have more and more news that could impact the markets here. Okay, so let's move on here, and now we reviewed the news. Let's go ahead and start to review the markets here. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with the gold market here. I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. Okay. I will be providing another video here to discuss kind of the week ahead at a much more higher level, but that'll be a separate video for members. So stay tuned for that. We'll go ahead and we'll just focus in on the daily, okay, and and then the 30-minute, okay, and just kind of get a feel for what the market is trying to accomplish here. Okay, so we can see here that we have let's shut this down here, and we'll shut this down for now, and this down. Okay, so just as we're reviewing this, guys, again, we've discussed this already a few times, but we've kind of called it out again here. We seem to be in this kind of triangle pattern in the gold market. Is kind of a consolidation pattern here. Go ahead and manually draw this. Okay. So let's see, what do I want? This right here. Okay, you can see that we are in this kind of consolidation pattern. We have a developing bearish engulfing candle up against an area where we would expect to see, I guess, if we we're going to continue in this consolidation pattern for price to reverse. Indeed, so far it has. We have a good amount of sell volume coming into this market. Okay, so the daily seems to be in some sort of range. In this case, and now we've kind of come into the top end of the range. So again, it does appear that we're getting some sellers here. So again, daily in consolidation in range, developing a little bit of a bearish kind of tone today. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, we have our series of candles here, starting with Friday, going into the overnight and into London. Looks like we have some sellers in this market. Okay. So where could this end? Well, I would say that this 2640, 2660 could be, a couple areas here that could serve as targets for this current move. Okay, and still not break any significant structure in either direction. Right now, we seem to be in this kind of consolidation pattern. All right, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and start opening up. I'm going to go ahead and remove some of the at least the bottom one here. Okay, and we're going to start opening up our indications or indicators here. Opening up our ADR, our ASR, and we'll just kind of take a look and see where price is in relation to those two items there. We are going to also open up initial balance. Okay, initial balance, if I can locate it, will open up as well. Okay, so there's our initial balance range, relatively tight range here. Okay, so let's see. Stretch this out here a little bit. All right. Okay. So here we are, exceeded the ranges. Okay, these average ranges that we use to that guide us for the market here. Well, we've exceeded both of them. Okay, so that could mean one of two things. It could mean that we are in a possible sustained move to the downside, or we've exhausted that move. Okay, if we've exhausted that move, then there's a good possibility that we could at some point reverse away, right, away from this level. Now, what I'm going to be using here is this kind of channel pattern. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead. If I'm going to turn bullish on this market, well, or at least, to expect maybe price to move to the other side of the range, I need to see price get above 2693.6. Okay. That is a first indication where we would break some structure to the upside and potentially, react and retest some of the highs here up at 2616, 2720. Sorry, I meant to say 2716, 2720. Okay. Because it does appear that we've come into an area where maybe we found some support. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and draw in this area that I see on the support side. Okay. Right there. We seem to have found some support here. Okay. Now the question is again, if this indeed is going to be supportive, we're gonna begin to create some structure, right? We're gonna begin the price is going to begin to break some bearish structure to the upside. Okay, so I've already identified 2693.6. Okay, that's an area of structure that if price is going to indeed turn bullish, then it's going to break that. It's going to break and hold above that. Okay, if we are going to continue in this kind of downward trajectory, well, we're going to break below 2680. Okay, 2680 is the initial balance low. Initial balance low, and so we would start to see an extension of initial balance to the downside, and maybe we start to look at maybe getting down to 2660. Okay, with some stops in between at 2675, 2660, 69, and ultimately 2660. So that's kind of where we're at right now. I would say that we are in a little bit of bearish structure, which is also indicative and on our daily and our 4-hour chart. Those two are telling us the same kind of thing. We have reached an area where we could expect to see some buyers right over here on the left hand side. We do see that this area was an area that was supportive in the past. Okay, so I have my my channel. Okay, I'm probably going to tighten this up here a little bit. All right, this is my channel to the downside. Okay, so if I do get price to close above again 2693 and a half, okay, then maybe we start to open up the door for maybe a possibility of price to reverse and make its way back and to some of these highs of the day, okay, or highs of Friday. All right. But before we can see that, we need to see price get above 2694, in my humble opinion, And at minimum, we need to get above price. And once the initial balance is established, we need to get above, I would say 26.90. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and add our levels to this chart, and then we'll move on to the crude oil chart. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and add our levels here. Okay. So here are our levels for this chart. Okay. So we have our value area high here. Let's go ahead and manually draw that in. So we're going to locate Friday start of session, okay, and drag that across to the close of Friday, okay, right about there, okay. So there's our value area low coming in at 27.13, 27.14, somewhere in that range, okay. I would expect that level to be somewhat resistant, okay, since price is below that value, okay. I would expect that number there to be somewhat resistant, okay. So we got value area low. We got what else? We have the average session range high at 2721.9. We have we're right now below both average daily range and average session range. So that's kind of this 2694 number that I mentioned, is an important level for me to really, if this is really going to change character, is really going to change my sentiment from bearish to bullish, I really need to see a new high. Okay, so right now I would say that it's I would need to wait for this initial balance range to establish, wait for price to decide on which direction it wants to take price, and then from there maybe execute a trade. Okay, off of initial balance. Okay, we have a relatively narrow range. Okay, initial balance, unlike what we had on Friday. Okay, we have a relatively narrow initial balance range that's being established at the moment. We still have another half hour for this initial balance range to establish. Once we have this initial balance range established, then we can go ahead. Then and only then, I would say, then we should look and see where price is in relation to initial balance. If it exceeds it to the upside, which it appears it wants to do, okay, then I would say that we have a reasonable chance to get back up to value area low. Okay. What's missing here for my chart is my VWAP. So let me go ahead and add that before I move on to the next chart here. Okay. Let's see, where is my VWAP? There it is. Okay. VWAP is price is below it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchored VWAP. Okay. My anchor VWAP is going to be based off of London here. I like starting with London as my VWAP. Okay. So again, those are a couple of other kind of indications. All right. To if this market is going to turn bullish, okay, it needs to get above. It needs to get above my anchor VWAP and my daily VWAP at some point. Okay. Right. Okay. So we have completed our first 30-minute candle. We have one more 30-minute candle to go. Okay. To begin to establish this initial balance range. And once we have this initial balance range, we can then, if assuming that price moves above it, well, that will give us the reference level. Okay. To identify a potential trade. Right now, it appears that maybe it wants to move to the upside, but we're still working our way. We're still working our way to establishing the range. Okay, we're still a half hour away. That's why with this price movement up, our initial balance is moving higher as well in unison. Okay, so well, I'm going to go ahead and wait and sit on my hands until that happens. Okay, I'm going to wait for the open of the U.S. market. We'll wait and see where price is in relation to this initial balance range, and then decide from there, what kind of execution do I want to take in this market? Okay, because right now we had some developing bearish action. Right, we have a lot of sellers, a lot of sellers in this market. We've reached the level now where we found some buyers. Now the question is, do they have enough buyers to take the market back higher and maybe continue this range that we have. Okay, maybe take it as high as value area low here at 27.14. Okay. All right, so that's kind of what I have for the gold market. I'm going to pause here to see if there's any questions. Okay, I don't see them. Okay, I don't see them. So we'll go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Okay, so crude oil market. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. So we'll do the same kind of analysis that we did for the other markets. We're going to go ahead and shut down the some of my indicators that I use to arrive at my levels. We'll leave VWAP there. We'll just go ahead and focus on the daily. Okay, daily chart. Here we are. Okay, so daily chart. Is this even the right market? This is soybeans. All right, let's look at something other than, although it kind of looks very similar here. In any case, I was looking at the wrong market. I was looking at soybeans. Okay. All right. So price of late, if we were to look at this just, a recent, right? If we just ignore everything else that's going on, a recent over the last since the beginning of close to the beginning of December here, right? We've been in this up trend in the crude oil, right? We are making higher highs and higher lows in this market. Okay. Now, as we get a little bit of more information here, right, as we move over to the left and look to the left, okay, we see that we've reached an area, okay, of prior resistance, but we've exceeded that area. Okay. With this candle, although it's still developing, we have exceeded this area. Okay. Now, if that holds true, then we start to open the door for higher prices. We start opening the door for 80 and possibly back to 83. Okay. But the first order of business, we've been in this location before, right? And we've come up to this area, sold off, come up to this area, sold off. Now the question is this going to be the same? Okay. Or is this candle going to close above the prior resistance that we have here? Okay. We won't know this until the end of the day. Okay. Okay. Moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, we're developing a little bit of a kind of a range or consolidation here. Okay. So we have some candle structures in an otherwise, bullish, kind of formation here, right? We talked already about this already, right? We have price breaking structure to the upside. Okay. Now, if this is going to sustain, right? If this is going to sustain bullish, right? We want to see again, we want to see a newer high, right? This could simply be just a little bit of a pullback until we can make the next leg higher. Now, what I will say though is that the after this push higher, okay, after this push higher, we didn't get as many candles to the upside before sellers started to step in and come into this market. Okay, so we're starting to lose. I would say I feel like we're losing a little bit of momentum to the upside in this market, and it could be the result of the fact of the location that we're in right now. Okay, moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We're starting to, create a little bit of a range here, a little bit of consolidation here up on the top here around 78.50. Okay, so I'm just going to put 78.50 here as my kind of line in the sand here. If we are going to maintain a kind of a bullish posture in this market, we eventually need to break above 78.50. If we don't break above 78.50, well, they're going to go back down and recruit for some more buyers. Okay, and where are they going to potentially find those buyers? Well, probably 76.60 or down here at 75.80. These are the last locations where price kind of accelerated to the upside. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and open up our initial balance because I think that market is currently open. It is. Okay, so we have a relatively narrow initial balance range. Looks like we're coming inside the same initial balance range that we had in this market on Friday. Okay, on Friday we didn't really make much of an extension, right? We extended to the upside and then just remained there. remain there for the rest of the day. Okay. Not all that impressive bullish action. Okay. All right. Let's so we have my initial balance. The next thing that I'm going to draw here, I'm going to go ahead and open up our ADR here. Okay. So price is above our average daily range. We're going to go ahead and open this up here. We are still inside. Okay. Although price did come up here at the start of London to the top end of this average session range high. This 78.50 level again is showing its colors again, right? We have price that went up to it. We now have this average session range high here at 78.50. Okay, in London, that appears to be for now resistant. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw in a resistance level here. Okay, around between 78.20 and 78.50. Okay, this now area is an area of resistance for me. Okay, and it looks like it wants to kind of maybe come back and maybe retest the conviction of maybe some of these buyers, okay, below. All right. We're at the low end of the session for London. Okay. If we do indeed break below, well, I don't see any reason why we don't go back and retest 77. Okay. So let's go ahead and add our levels to this chart. Okay. All right. So here we are. Here are our levels for this chart here. Okay. There's our levels. All right. And then the next thing I'm going to draw in here is our fixed range volume profile here. Fixed range volume profile right there. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and locate this is the start of Friday over to the close of Friday, and price is just hovering above, okay, this value area high. Okay, this value area high is going to be an important level. Okay, if we are going to maintain this bullish posture, although we've been in a little bit of range since Sunday, right? Since the open of Sunday, we've been in a little bit of a range. If we're going to maintain this kind of bullish posture, price will not close below. Okay, this area here around the high end of 77.20, I would say, is going to be an area of support, right? So if we're going to maintain this bullish posture in this market, okay, then I would expect price, okay, I would expect price to bounce off of, value area high, okay, if we're going to maintain. If we manage to close back inside, okay, this value area high, right, and maybe get below this area here of this average daily average session range low, then I don't see any reason why we don't come back and revisit 76, the low end of range. I don't see anything here that could potentially, maybe 76.60 would be a nice level, maybe to participate in a potential reversal. Okay, that would be another area here. Okay, so right now I'm not really interested in participating in any sort of how we say bullish activity. Okay, I do see we have a developing bearish candle here. So if I'm going to be bullish, I think I need to wait for maybe a better level below me. Okay, if I'm bearish, well, I am at a level now. This is a pretty I guess I would say a pretty significant amount of risk here, right? You could potentially, if this candle does indeed close below our daily VWAP, then you could potentially take an execution. But you have to understand that we are coming into some areas that could cause price to reverse. We might be better served in waiting for price to come back inside this area of value, wait for a retracement, and then participate on the retracement in that short. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing right now in the crude oil market. Again, similar to my stance, I'm taking in the gold. I'm going to wait for the market to kind of establish the initial balance range before I take on any executions. Okay. Although I would say that we're probably looking maybe at value area high, providing us maybe an opportunity for maybe a bullish trade. You know, but if we do manage to close back inside, that could provide us a trade that would potentially rotate through value all the way down to 76. That's certainly not out of the question. Okay. We are we seem to be bumping our heads up against 78.50. 78.50 doesn't seem to be an area that is currently being supported. Okay. We've already kind of reversed away from it once. We came back and attempted to get above it. That was rejected. Sellers continue to kind of are trying to push price lower. Okay. Are trying to push price lower. Okay. All right. Let's see here. What else could I offer here in this market? I think that's pretty much what I have here. Let's what I have for this crude oil market. I think right now it appears that maybe we are looking to move lower in this market. Um, the only thing that's really kind of holding me back from maybe taking on an execution here is I do see some reference levels that could be supportive, right? That could cause price to come down to and reverse away from. Okay. So that's kind of what maybe is causing me a little bit of hesitation in this market. All right. Okay. Now that we've gotten through the gold and crude oil markets, we'll go ahead and move on to the gold, not gold, but NASDAQ. Okay. We'll move on to the NASDAQ market here. Okay. So we do see that price. We'll go ahead and open up the daily chart. Okay. Daily chart is certainly looking a bit bearish. Okay. We do see price kind of beginning to make lower lows and lower highs. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and turn off ADR and ASR here. Okay. For a moment. And we'll also turn off initial balance. Okay. So we can see here that price is kind of looking to continue lower here. We are coming into maybe an area where we might find some support here around I don't know 20,000, certainly 20,400. I would say would be kind of a supportive level, and then below that we have the psychological level of 20,000. Okay. So I would expect this 20,000 level to be somewhat supportive. Okay. That would be an area that I would expect. Up until then, like I said, we really only have 20,500, I guess, in its path, really, to keep price from maybe continuing in that direction. Okay. We do see our volume delta. Okay. Our volume delta is showing that we have more sellers than buyers in this market. Okay. So again, another kind of feather in the cap for the bears. Moving into the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, again, we continue to be in this bearish structure to the downside. Okay. Every attempt that's been made so far by the bulls have been met with more sellers. Okay. Nothing here indicates to me that the bulls are I guess gaining any sort of control in this market here. I'm looking to the left to see. Well, I do see here, right, this area around 20,600. Okay, we do see a little bit of congestion here, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and draw an area here, right around 20,600. This could be an area of support in this market. All right, this area could be supportive. It could cause the market to reverse away from. Okay, all right. So that's the 4-hour chart. We have a developing bullish candle, but I wouldn't say right now it's necessarily the strongest of bullish candles. I see selling wicks on above it. Okay. All right. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay. We are right below our daily VWAP. Okay. Any kind of view that would lead to us thinking bullish, right? Would I think for me at least would have to start with a break above VWAP, okay, and a break above this channel to the upside. Okay. If I have any inkling at all about a bullish trade, okay, I really need to see. And the thing that we need to be careful of is this exact thing that happened here, right? We get price to close above VWAP, okay, trap a bunch of buyers, and then take price lower. Okay, we have to be guarded on that kind of thing. Okay, we might be better served in continuing supporting the view that the price is going to continue lower, and I would say 20,600 seems to be kind of a realistic target for that move. Okay. All right. Initial balance is not yet open, so I'm going to go ahead and start with the fixed range volume profile here and figure out exactly where my volume profile is in relation to price. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and locate my Friday session here and to my close of my Friday session. Okay, so you can see that price is below value. Okay, indicating that we have bears are very much in control of this market. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open up my anchor VWAP to maybe the start of London, right about here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to draw. That's a visible range volume profile or anchored volume profile. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. I wanted to do my anchored VWAP right here, and I'm going to do it for the start of London. Okay. So you can see here that price managed to get above London's anchored VWAP. Okay. So we had some sellers in London, all right, that took price lower. Looks like we found some buyers, okay, that took price above a London session, okay. Now the question is it going to be able to get above this VWAP, okay, daily VWAP, and maybe above this channel? That's kind of would be the ingredients maybe for a possible move higher. Okay. Again, I'm just kind of a little bit guarded here that maybe um, this area here, this value area low, could be a target for that. Okay. We can get up to maybe value area low before we would see maybe a price reverse away from. Okay. This would seem kind of logical to me based on what I'm seeing in price action. Okay. That's kind of what I'm seeing right now. All right. So let's go ahead and add our levels. With the lack of news today, do I think we'll keep heading lower? Yeah, I think I think that's a fair assessment. I think we'll potentially continue in the direction that we're moving. With the lack of news today, that's going to probably not induce any sort of volatility into the market. Okay, so we'll probably continue in whatever direction that's been established. Okay, and kind of we have some markers here, right, that will give us some clues as to what direction they want to take the market, right? So right now, since we are below this daily VWAP, okay, we are below our value from Friday. Indications are that we are in this kind of bearish tone, bearish sentiment. Okay, so until we start to see price get above daily VWAP, maybe back inside value, then that's really we would need those kinds of price events to really start to change our opinion of this. Okay, I would say that it's more a view of where price is in relation to this than it is any sort of news event that could cause one to not think lower. Okay, I'm more of a view of the news is going to is going to bring in some volatility, but I'm more interested to see how price reacts to known reference levels like value area low, VWAP, and those sorts of things. Right now, we see that price has kind of respected VWAP all the way down, has not made it above. So that for me is enough evidence to think that we're going to continue lower. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and move on to, let's see. I'm going to add my levels here to this chart. Okay. All right. Here are my levels. Okay. To this chart here. So these are the levels I'm gonna be watching and care about. These are my reference levels for areas where I could potentially see maybe some areas of reversal in price. Okay. So we have here this value area low is actually 970. 25 is kind of what I'm seeing here. So I'm going to modify this to 970.25. 970.25 is kind of what I'm seeing as my value area low. I'm going to go ahead and open up my ADR and ASR. So there's my ASR. Okay, so I have 20,985, which is right around my value area low, right? So I have two indications, two things that are I guess in confluence, right? In agreement that this 20,985 is a relatively important level. Right now we're in kind of the middle of the range, middle of this average session range, okay? So I'm going to be more focused on the extremes of that range, right? I would like to either, if I'm a seller, I want to be up here, right? To sell. If I'm a buyer, I want to be down closer to the bottom to be if I'm a buyer, okay? I want to focus on the extremes of these levels to support a trade. Now, right now, if we want to use the channel, right, the channel as kind of our guide, then I would say that we have a reasonable chance to get to the bottom end of the channel right now, based on what I'm seeing on price. Okay. But we are about 7 minutes away from the open of this market. I'm not really keen on, entering a trade just before a lot of volatility, right? And the volatility may or may not be in my direction. Okay. So I'm going to wait for the initial balance range to establish, or some range, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, something. Okay. I'm going to wait for I'm going to let the market kind of, play out for a bit. And then based on the way the market's moving, then I can decide what direction I want to take the trade. I'm more of an initial balance person. I like waiting for the initial balance of the market to establish, which is the first hour of the market. Let that first hour of the market kind of establish the market, and then from there, based on that range, if price moves above it, I'm looking long. If price moves below it, I'm looking short, assuming I get the right price action to follow it. Okay. All right. So that's kind of what I have for the Nasdaq. It does appear that we are a bit bearish in this market. It does appear that we are looking to head lower in this market. Okay. We have a relatively strong bearish candle that's developing here. So all things indicate that there's going to be some lower prices. Okay. Really, the only area that I see that could be supportive is around this 20,600 level. That would be kind of maybe a logical place for maybe an execution, maybe even a reversal in price. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and look at the ES here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and look at the ES. We're going to spend, let's see, we're just going to take a peek at the daily. All right. The daily chart is telling us we're breaking some structure. Okay. We've broken some structure here to the downside. Okay. Right. Price closed below. We are developing another candle here that's also bearish. Okay. We have 57. We have 57.37 here that could potentially be supportive here. Okay. Volume delta is indicating that we have more sellers than buyers in this market right now. Okay. So right now, daily is telling us bearish. 4-hour chart is also similar. Okay. We're starting to see, higher, lower lows, lower highs. Okay. In this market, we've broken, I would say this is probably was relatively significant when we broke below 58.80 here. Okay. So I'm going to turn that into red. Okay. So this area, what was support, will probably most likely act as resistance on the way up. Okay. So that's kind of what I have here. Now, this is probably another area here that we could also kind of flip to the bearish side. Okay. So we have a couple levels above us that will serve as potential resistance for a continuation move to the downside. We have a level below us that could potentially be supportive. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile. We're going to locate the start of Friday session here. All right. So that's right about, we're in the 4-hour chart. Let's move on to the 30-minute chart. It's confusing to me a little bit. Okay, so right here, Thursday, Friday, there's the start of Friday. There's the close of Friday, right about there. Okay, so you can see that price is below value, right? Bears, bears have kind of taken control. So the fact that price is below Friday's value is an indication that the bears are still very much in control of this market. Okay. Price is below our VWAP. Again, another feather in the cap of our bears. Okay. If I draw in my anchor VWAP, okay, start of London, okay, that is working its way to the downside as well, right? So right now, I don't see anything that stands in this way of getting down to this 57.85 level. Okay, we have kind of, I would say, a minor kind of support level here at 5,800, but I'm not seeing the buyers really step in and take, kind of take on the bears right now. Okay, we had a muted kind of response here off 5,800, and now the bears have kind of come into this market with even more resources. Okay, so as long as price stays below my anchor VWAP, stays below my daily VWAP, my view on the market remains bearish. Okay, on the ES. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my levels here. Okay, here are my levels in this market. I'm gonna go ahead and extend my line here to the for value area low. Okay, there's my value area low line. So that could also serve as an area for price to reverse away from, right? If we do get a rally back up to this level, this area would be another area for price to serve as resistance, and have potentially price turn away from. Okay. All right. So yeah, so ES, as well as what we're seeing on the Nasdaq, seems like we're looking a bit bearish. So we're about a minute away from the open of the markets. We're going to go ahead and take a peek here at the YM. Okay, the Dow. Okay, we'll take a peek here at the Dow. Okay. All right. So here we are in the Dow. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. We got 17 drawings on this chart. We're not going to now. Out of all the markets that we've looked at so far, I would say that the Dow is looking the most bullish. Okay. The reason I say that is price managed to get above my daily VWAP. Okay. Out of all the markets that we've looked at so far in the equities, the Dow looks the most bullish. Okay. It's gotten above my daily VWAP here. Okay. We just had the market open here. So we're going to go ahead and open up the initial balance range. Okay. We're still an hour away from that range to establish here. Okay. Right. There's our range. All right. So we have our average session range high, average session range low. We're on the top end of the range. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my fixed range volume profile here for Friday. So we're going to go ahead and locate the start of Friday, which is right about, let's see here. Oh, that's not it. Right about here. Okay. Right about this candle here. We're going to go ahead and drag that across to the close right there. Okay. So you can see that price is challenging value area low. Okay. So out of all the markets that we've looked at on so far, okay, and I don't know what's going on with the NASDAQ and the ES, but maybe they're equally is rallying here, right? But we're coming up on this value area low. Now the question for the Dow is going to be, are we going to accept above value? Okay. If we're going to accept value above value, then we have a good chance of getting back up to 42,390. Okay. If we do not accept value, if price kind of stalls here, then I would say that we continue our trek to the downside. But above all the markets I've seen so far in the equities, the Dow looks to be the most bullish of all of them. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and draw in my anchored VWAP here. Okay, so we have price above our daily VWAP, above our anchor VWAP, challenging value area low. Okay, looking to maybe potentially get inside value. If price closes back inside value, then we have a chance for price to get all the way to the highs of value. Okay, so that's kind of what I see in the markets on the Dow. I don't capture levels. You do have a couple of, this is ASR. This is our value area low range. This is our value area high range here. Okay. So I don't capture the same number of price levels that I do for the other markets in the Dow, but there's a couple of there that you can use and reference. So again, two of the three of the markets, as we were entering the market, looked a bit bearish. Okay. The Dow by far is the most bullish of the three. Okay. So yeah, so that's kind of what I have here to share with respect to the markets. I did want to spend the last a few minutes here. I do see that we have about 10 folks here in the room. Six liked what I said, liked what I said, or supported their analysis. So if anything that I said today supported you in any sort of way, don't hesitate to hit the like button. Don't hesitate to comment on this video when it becomes available on the YouTube channel. I'm going to kind of quickly share here while we have the Dow kind of playing out here in the background, we're going to go ahead and pull up our information about our channel, about our portal, about the membership levels, so that everybody understands that. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a strong push here, bullish push in this market. Okay. Dow. Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and paste or post here in the room the memberships. Okay. Okay. So there you have it. Okay. Those are the various memberships. I'm going to go ahead and display this here. Okay. And show that here for a minute. And let's see here. We're going to go ahead and show this. Just going to talk through levels here, guys. So we have three main levels here. Like I said, this current session that we're having here on pre-market session is kind of a complimentary session, just to kind of showcase some of the analysis that's done on this portal behind a membership channel. I have the membership link there. Okay, we have the market trader starter level. Okay, that is probably more of a self-service level where you get access to some of our education. Okay, video and educational videos and things of that nature. Okay, and then we have the Market Trader Plus. Okay, this is kind of where we begin to open up, more live, kind of sessions like this one where we do analysis. Okay, Market Trader Plus provides you opportunities to participate live with me. Okay. Then we have the Market Trader Pro series, which is the live trading series. Okay. So where you get, once or twice a week, not on a daily basis, once or twice a week, where I provide, live access to me actually trading the markets. Okay. So three membership levels, each providing, various levels of value in supporting your journey in analyzing and navigating the markets. Okay. So I provided the link there in chat. Again, would encourage you guys to maybe take a look at these, take a look at these levels, the subscription levels, the membership levels. Take a look at some of the videos that I made out, are available to the public around some of the analysis that I've done in the markets. So, and maybe consider joining. Okay. Other than that, I would say at minimum, don't hesitate to hit the like button as you exit the door. Okay, or exit the session here today. Don't be afraid to comment. Okay, on how the analysis has supported you in your trading. Okay. All right. I think with that, guys, I do want to go ahead and close off the session and kind of take a look at the markets myself to see what opportunities are presenting themselves for myself. So for those who are part of Top Step, you'll find me in the coaches room there for a bit, and then maybe later this afternoon. Okay. So with that, we'll wish everyone a good, solid trading session. So trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have a good day, and hope to see you in future sessions.